Hello, this is Abhishek Mehrotra, Head of Investment Products from HDFC Securities. And today we have Mr. Manish Gunwani, who is CIO with Bandhan AMC for equities. And what a good day to start our conversation with a lot of things happening in the market. So, sir, let's get straight to the point in terms of what is your current market outlook, because things have been going, what this year started till Jan and Feb was decent. Then you know what happened across the borders, and then things are ups and downs and so on. So over to you, sir. We want to know what's your view currently on the market, how things are behaving as you see.
Yeah, after about 1.5 to 2 years, I'm more constructive on the domestic sectors. I think we had a phase of 1.5 to 2 years where the whole world focused on this mega theme called AI.
Yeah.
And if you analyze global capital markets, around 10-15 stocks have broadly driven the entire return, all of them linked to directly to AI through semiconductors or power equipment which drives data center, etc. Right? I have a feeling that phase is coming to an end. Not that obviously AI adoption will happen in a very healthy way, but I do think a lot of the stocks which ran on this theme, the valuation has become full, and there are signs that sector rotation is happening. Secondly, India's macro has held up pretty well during the war. If you see our high frequency growth indicators, whether it's car sales, two-wheeler sales, or tax collections, electricity growth, whatever. These are typically measures you use to get a feel of the economy, and those have held up pretty well. The earnings also are panning out in a pretty healthy manner as per expectations. So I do think that with the currency taking fair amount of punishment already, right? I mean, rupee has fallen roughly 10% against the dollar on a year-on-year basis. We've seen almost 2-3 years of consistent selling by foreigners. The expectations are low, and end of the day, it's a relative world. So when you see India versus a lot of emerging markets, Korea, Taiwan, where there's a lot of froth around this AI thing, I do think that, I don't know, you can't time it for 6 months, 12 months, but I think the risk reward seems very healthy towards Indian equities versus either emerging market equities or even versus US, I think.
Okay, so that's a very big point, that the mad rush behind AI has subsided, though there definitely there'll be growth, but not the kind of madness. That is what you believe, and you believe India will get some shine back away from Taiwan and the Korea markets. So, but currently, since you know the war continues and there is some or the other news, what is the comfort level of crude for which Indian market should be okay broadly? Not as an Indian consumer, but
the lower the better, because we import crude. So 60-70, I think, is obviously pre-war levels. I think till 80-85 we are fine. Maybe at 90 plus, 90 to 100, we get worried but not alarmed. 100 plus is a bit of a panic situation, I guess. If it sustains for a long period of time, say for 15 days, 1 month, if it goes there, that's fine. But if we are looking at a scenario that 100 plus is there for 1 year, then there is a problem, I think.
Okay, 100 plus for a stretch duration, I don't think so. That hopefully that should not happen, especially from India's standpoint. But yes, below 100, it's suitable for overall equity markets as such. And probably markets have the ability to digest and move on. And that's what we have seen obviously in last 5-10 days, where there was a decent rally, but obviously as we are talking, there is some tension again building up. So this is upon the broad Indian economy. How do you see earnings growing up and the valuations going up? Because you just touched upon that. Yes, there was a lull for almost 18 to 24 months. But how you see earnings way forward, and some specific sectors, if you believe that there is some probably they are relatively undervalued or relatively overvalued.
Yeah, so again, if you see FY25 and FY26, we had fairly subdued earnings growth. If you think about it, links a lot with nominal GDP growth, and nominal GDP growth went down to 8.5. So that way, actually, a bit of inflation and rupee depreciation is good for earnings, because end of the day, corporate profits work on nominal GDP, not on real GDP. and inflation at 4% is ideal actually, because then our nominal GDP goes up to 11-12%.
Right.
And in general, our market benefits from rupee depreciation because we have more exporters and import parity linked pricing sectors like commodities, etc.
Yeah.
So I do think that after single digit earnings roughly in FY 25-26, I think FY 27, people are somewhere between 14 to 17% for Nifty 100.
Okay.
And I don't see too much of a issue. You know, bank credit, the biggest sector is obviously banks, and bank credit going at 17-18%.
Yeah.
There is no sign of any asset quality stress at this point of time.
Okay.
So banks, which are the biggest component of the index, if their earnings are okay, I think FMCG, IT, the expectations are so low that I don't think too much downgrades will happen. In fact, the early results of FMCG are quite healthy actually.
True.
Even IT is broadly meeting the expectations.
Yeah, IT things have become positive of late.
Yeah.
And, so you'd also believe that banking sector can be relatively a dark horse because it's been struggling since last some time. Yeah.
I do think financials is a good place to be. Not only banks, but NBFCs or even insurance, general life.
Right.
A lot of these stocks last 2-3 years haven't done anything.
Okay.
And valuations have become quite attractive.
But if we dissect this, say, for a mid cap, large cap, and small cap, because small cap, you know, last in Q1 we saw a decent rally. Do you think there is a lot of steam left in mid cap, small cap, large cap, and how will you, you know, place it among these three?
We have a bit of a contrarian view that we kept saying this, that structurally we prefer small cap over large cap. Now, aggregate valuations at points have become excessive in small cap space.
Right.
But our whole viewpoint has been that don't judge small cap as an aggregate because you can look at 700, 800 stocks. So there's no point looking at index valuation or index P.
Right.
But more importantly, I think our view on small caps is based on the fact that the amount of change we see in the next 5 years in the economy is going to be very high. And typically what happens is when the composition of the economy changes, the new themes start from the small cap space.
Okay.
Our view on the change is predicated on a lot of things, but primarily two big mega themes. One is AI, of course. It's clearly one of the biggest technology changes we'll see in our lifetime.
Right.
And also the second axis is geopolitics, that we're clearly living in a world which has geopolitical tension, the defense expenditure rising, and particularly I think the China-US dynamic is important. How the yuan, for example, goes versus dollar.
Right.
And you could make a case that the yuan and even the Japanese yen, they have been suppressed and undervalued because of various reasons.
Right.
And if there are big changes there, so for example, if China is able to stand up to US and yuan can appreciate a lot, then it leads to manufacturing, hopefully going to rest of the world, including India, right? So we do think next 5 years you're going to see a lot of changes both on the technology dimension and the geopolitical dimension. And you need to have a portfolio where if these changes manifest themselves, the themes, the smaller stocks which play to that theme, that is where the big return will be made. So which is why we think that given the amount of change we are likely to see over next 5-10 years. Again, see, when you come into a small cap fund, you need to have a bit of patience because small liquidity shocks like in 2025 you see, they will fall. I mean, you need to have at least 3-4 year view to come into a small cap fund. But if you have that patience, we do think a good small cap fund can outperform the large cap index by a decent margin.
Definitely. In fact, your fund has been doing phenomenally well. Now, coming to that you are coming with a contra fund and a contra strategy. I think you just touched upon that you have a contrarian view. For viewers or for people who want to understand first what is contra as a strategy and then how one can play, or so can you throw some light on that, please?
Sure. So Contra, as the name suggests, is going against the sentiment at that point of time.
Okay.
You can go against the sentiment in various ways. There are companies which are temporarily going through some particular issue related to that company, or the whole sector is going through a down cycle,
Okay.
or there is a macro development because of which certain stocks get impacted. So our idea in contra investing is to look at some of these stocks which are affected by these kind of things.
Okay.
And usually these tend to be temporary. Now, obviously, it depends on your research and the business model and management of the company. But a lot of times we've seen that on a 2-3 year time frame,
Yeah.
a lot of these impacts get nullified. And because of these impacts, the valuations come down to a level where if you buy at that point, then in 2-3 years you make a very healthy return. So so a lot of people will obviously ask the difference between value and contra.
Right.
So what we feel contra, all value is contra in the sense that obviously what is cheap on price to book, price to earning is contra.
Yeah.
But contra also includes some of the expensive companies. Like let's say there's an internet platform company which is loss making, right? And if it falls 50%, and you feel that in 3-5 years the unit economics is such that the profit in 5 years can make the stock very attractive.
Right.
To us, that is contra as well. It may not be very cheap on price to earning.
So for simpler terms, I should say this is down but not out. That is kind of a strategy.
Yes.
That is what is contra is
yes,
primarily for somebody who wants to understand. So stocks which are down but not out, and there is a lot of merit in terms of the financials and the business model, and that's where as a strategy we want to bet upon and then create a portfolio.
Yeah.
So can you throw a broader guidance in terms of how this portfolio will be, since you are coming up with a new fund offering? It will be majorly more on across sectors or some specific.
So first of all, in terms of active share, that is how much does it deviate from the benchmark? So basically, 0 is exactly the benchmark. 100 is you're totally different from that.
Different, yeah.
We feel this will be a high active share fund because if we are saying we are contra, then obviously a lot of the momentum stocks we will not look at. We will not looking at hugging the index, etc.
Right.
So typically, I would think most of the time our active share will be more than 55-60%. So that is one that it's going to take some risk, decent amount of risk. It's not going to be something which is close to the index.
Okay.
Second, in terms of market cap, again, we're going to be not super dependent on large caps, because I think contra, you obviously want to go where sentiments are weak.
True.
And then you don't care what market cap it is. And in one sense, the bigger the number of stocks, the more likely you're going to find stocks which are ignored or hated by the market at some point of time.
True.
So we will be having a reasonable amount of small and mid cap.
Right.
We're not decided a number, but we're going to be market cap agnostic in that sense. We're not going to play safe in terms of just being in the large cap stocks. In terms of sectors, again, we're going to take reasonable amount of sector deviation because not all sectors will be unpopular at any point of time. So we might be concentrated in a few sectors as well. Okay. So this is a fund where we feel with active stock picking and behavioral investing, we can generate reasonable amount of alpha.
Okay. So since we are coming with the new fund offering now, any key signals why you thought that this is the right time? Because you just touched upon that because of technological enhancement between US and China should also grow up, and then it may also give a lot of opportunities for small cap. That's one segment. But beyond this, are there any themes which made you think, yes, this is the right time to go?
Yeah, because see, there's been a lot of geopolitical developments, whether it's tariffs, war, etc.
Right.
So the markets have been very subdued over the last 2 years. A lot of sectors have become unpopular, right?
Right.
Secondly, even on technology, there are different things happening. Meaning sometimes people say AI will kill all services jobs. Sometimes then you see people start doubting whether AI is affordable or not.
True.
So, so we do think that the cycles are getting shorter, but there are many cycles to play, right? So we do think that this is a ripe time for someone who can, some fund which can, play these cycles well.
But so since you're creating a fund, can you share us, will it be a pure equity, or you will have still play with little bit of cash also? Little bit of cash for managing the fund is okay.
We're not envisaging this fund to have 10-15% kind of cash calls. 3-5% is okay.
Definitely.
So this is we don't think that there is lack of opportunity in the market. Maybe if at some point the market become excessively frothy, we might increase the cash. But see, that is not something which is a very big part of the investment process.
Okay.
We do think that in India, given the width of the market we have now, as I said, small caps, you can look at 700, 800 stocks, and then we have 100 large caps, 150 mid cap.
Right.
So there'll always be 50, 60 stocks which fit this mindset of being contra.
Okay.
Now, this fund obviously is not looking to outperform in 6-12 months, because obviously when you buy something which is unpopular, it may take time for that.
Though we wish like that, but
you wish it outperforms in 1 month or 12 months, but people again need to have a bit of patience in this fund.
For sure. So I think a client or anybody who's looking forward to invest, maybe say 3-5 years, something for a relatively longer term, should participate in this offering, and who should have a higher risk appetite, definitely, because as Mr. Manish had said, it will be tough for this, it will take some time for these stocks to deliver. At times, it may happen immediately, it may take some time. So you should have patience, and you should have the heart to bear the volatility. But knowing that these are down but not out, probably relatively volatility will be less, I believe, or we can assume so.
I'm not sure, because sometimes these unpopular stocks may display a bit more volatility.
Okay.
But yes, I think volatility may be a bit high, but hopefully the downside will be a bit low, because since we're buying after they've already been ignored by the market.
Yes.
So the downside protection should be good in a falling market.
Broadly, so this is one strategy which is there. Can you touch upon something on the sectors which you have identified for this, or some a big no for this kind of contra strategy, or currently you are open to?
So it will obviously depend on the time when we deploy the money, but obviously sectors which have a lot of momentum, which have done well.
Yeah.
That is not something which we will have in a heavy representation in the fund. We are obviously anti-momentum in one sense.
Sure.
Right. So for example, today maybe a lot of the AI-related capital good companies is not something which likely to be there in the portfolio at this point of time.
Sure, sir. Thanks for talking to you. And from HDFC House, this NFO is part of the recommended list. So all the people who are looking forward to subscribe, this is anyways approved through the various process of evaluating the AMC, evaluating the fund manager, evaluating their processes. And that's why we bring it to our investors, so that they have more confidence to participate. Just to tell you, as any new fund offering, it's altogether a new portfolio, cherry picking of stocks across 1,000+ scripts. So hopefully, a fresh portfolio is getting created. So it's good to join at the time when the portfolio is getting created. That's during the new fund offering, and go through your risk profile and understand the nuances of investing into equities, because obviously equity is definitely a long-term bet and not a short-term play. So thank you, and thank you, sir. Thanks for your time.
Thanks a lot.
That's it.
Investment in securities market are subject to market risks. Read all the related documents carefully before investing.